Sorry to bother you, subordinate. But are you busy? I see. That's good to hear. In fact, I came here today to ask you for a favor. As the leader of the Aegis Squad, it pains me to admit this in front of you. To display such weakness is enough to make me want to cover my face in shame. But I see no other way out of this situation. I would like you to confiscate Anchor's marine life collection. Don't look at me like that. It's not because of any personal aversion I have towards them. I wouldn't ask for your help if that was the reason. A few days ago, we received a warning from the Wildlife Agency. According to the law, all animals and plants must be overseen by the Management Bureau. That includes marine life. Anchor collects them on her own time and has amassed something of a private collection. They've always turned a blind eye to it for Deputy Chief Burningham's sake. However, at a recent party aboard the ship, a high-ranking VIP slipped on one of Anchor's starfish and took quite the tumble. I know it sounds ridiculous, but due to that incident, a complaint was filed with the Wildlife Agency. And now they're saying they can't overlook it anymore either. I explained the situation to Anchor yesterday and requested that she hand over her collection to the Bureau. Ever since then, she's been avoiding me. As you know, Anchor has a high-performance radar installed inside her body. If she wants to avoid someone, she can do so in perpetuity. Correct. I've exhausted all my options and have nowhere else to turn. I apologize gravely for this. I feel as if I'm shirking my responsibilities and passing them on to you. Why is that? Very well. I appreciate you helping me out. I've rarely operated under someone else's command. It's oddly comforting this way. If I were to guess, I'd say she might be at the swimming pool where the Admire is stationed. I would accompany you, but I doubt I could be of any assistance. I'll remain on standby. Please, get her to listen to reason, subordinate. You see that starfish? 7 o'clock direction, 55 meters out. It's the captain. What do you think brings him here? He must be colluding with Helm! Just in case, you guys better stay tucked away. We might need to beat a swift retreat. What does it look like I'm doing? I'm storing all my marine animals inside this box. Sure. Here, put on these gloves. It's fine for me, but you're human. You shouldn't be touching these guys with your bare hands. Some of them may be venomous. Different places. Some of them I picked up during a mission and brought back. Others were given to me by friends. And some I had the scavengers fetch for me. That's how I got this guy. Wanna touch him? Not all starfish are like that. But this one is especially malleable. So I like it more. That's why I'm a big fan of sea cucumbers and sea squirts. I'm not sure. I have never really sat down and thought about it. I get it! Maybe because being a machine, I myself have a pretty hard exterior. Which part isn't clear to you? Hey! I'm all about starfish. But that doesn't mean I want to cozy up to one. How so? Oh. Is that right? Still, I don't have the same feelings and sensations as humans. Let me ask you something, Captain. Of all the parts of the body, which would you say is the one that makes people the most human? Exactly. My heart has been replaced with a mechanical core. One comprised of a rigid metal and cumbersome wires. These little guys, on the other hand, are so soft and squishy. Their whole bodies are slick and shiny. That's what I like about them. They're alive. Definitely not. I don't know. I've been making myself scarce for the time being. But I think I've just about reached the end of the line. Uh-oh! 1 o'clock, 580 meters out! Probable employee from the Wildlife Agency detected! Could you put that starfish inside the box, Captain? I think I gotta hightail it out of here. Captain? Why not? What are you talking about? When you say convince, do you mean persuading me to give up all these marine animals to the Bureau? You said worst comes to worst. So does that mean you're considering other options? Is that right? Now, where do we go, Captain? But you said you'd try and come up with a better option. I thought by running we'd be opening up a dialogue to discuss those options. Naturally, I figured you'd be the one leading the discussion and figuring out our next course of action. Change what? The fact that I have an affinity for living things? I'm not so sure about that. Sounds kinda illogical to me. How can you change what someone does and doesn't like through words alone? I'm still not entirely sure how you think this is gonna pan out, but if you really want to, I'll go with it. I may still have my doubts, but I have faith in the path you chose, Commander. Oh, hey, old-timer! Who's your friend? Isn't that the same squad that Helm is in? Nice to meet you. Wow, wait, would you look at that? Starfish, sea cucumbers, and what's this one? A sea squirt? Whoa, you're just holding it up like that? Why are you flinching, Mika? Sorry, I can't stand things that are squishy. That's perfect! That means they'll be even more effective if I use them in a prank! Oh, why'd you close it? I was having fun looking at those. We may have something. Since they're mostly of the small and slippery variety, how about some slime? I'll bring some out. Let's have a feel. No good. The feeling is similar, but it's not moist enough. And it doesn't move on its own. I could show you a few toys that do move. Try this one on for size. It's all the rage lately. I don't think this'll cut the mustard either. The speed at which it's moving its hands is too constant, too robotic. Not to mention that it's hard to the touch. Is that a bad thing? I see. I don't think I quite follow. Anchor, why is it that you feel only things that are soft can be living? Are you telling me that's not the case? Of course not! Baby humans and animals are totally gaga for hard toys. And all that you said about how unyielding our cores are? That may be, but I've never felt less alive than anything else. Yeah. Plus, what we do now is no different from what we did when we were humans. Exactly. I still pull plenty of practical jokes, and you still fall for every single one of them. Oh, don't remind me. I think I see your point. You two still have memories of when you were human. But I don't. Huh? You don't? At all? Not one? Not even a little? Not even a tiny sliver. How is that even possible? Jeez, now I feel bad. Me too. Sorry for bringing it up so flippantly. I'm fine. Even if I did have memories, it's not a guarantee that they'd be pleasant ones. That's true. But the reason you may be so down on yourself could have to do with the past memory. What do you mean? Take Mika and I, for example. We were always together when we were humans. And then stayed the same even when we became Nikkes. So the fact that you don't feel as if you're human shouldn't have anything to do with your core or anything like that. After all, we don't feel that way. Then again, for you, it was a bit more abrupt. True. For you just woke up one day and BAM! You were encased inside a mechanical body. I can only imagine how unsettling that would be. Heck, if that happened to me, I'm sure I'd end up relying on squishy marine life too. So, what exactly are you two saying? I'm no psychologist, but I'm not sure about fancy terms like that. All I'm saying is that we don't have anything to replace these squishy marine animals with. I'm sorry that we couldn't be of more help to you. Where do we go now, Captain? Me? In fact, as long as I don't have to be separate from these little guys, I don't care what we do. What is it, Captain?
So you want me to help you? Retrieve Anchor's memories? I'll be frank with you. Unlocking NIKKE's memory can go either way. You're either opening a treasure chest or opening Pandora's box. Even if the possibility skews towards the former. The mere possibility of the latter is why I steer clear of this procedure. In her current state, Anchor isn't stable. You said she's experiencing a sort of self-alienation, right? You're a graduate from the military academy, so you should know. This is often one of the onsets of a mind switch. To bring the past into the equation at such a sensitive juncture would be like waving a flaming torch around a powder keg.
Boss, you're right in that I view myself in a negative light. And it's also true that I'm partial to the sea creatures that are soft. But I hardly think that's compelling enough evidence that I'm on the brink of a mind switch.
Since you brought up evidence, do you have any to back up that statement?
The captain regularly administers mental wellness tests. If I were to ever fail a single one, I would have been sent straight to the repair center. And yet here I am, still on active duty.
All right. Those mental wellness tests are highly regarded amongst the big three, so there's no doubt as to their efficacy. Fine. I'll entrust this one to you and Anchor. If you're convinced that recovering your memory is integral to solving this issue, I'll do whatever I can to help. But I recommend that you think twice before going through with it. Sounds to me like you made up your mind before you came here. So there's no point in me attempting to convince you otherwise. However, all of her memories which were stored on the conscious level have been erased. If we want to reclaim any of her past memories, we'll have to stimulate the memories stored deep down. Yes. Typically, Obike's memories are erased in their entirety during the manufacturing process. But there have been reported cases of NIKKE's recalling past events, when they find themselves in a situation similar to those that existed in their memories.
Sounds complicated. Can't you simply recount my own past or whatever parts you remember back to me?
No, that would be far too risky. A memory recounted orally would only further alienate you from yourself. Far from helping you, we'd be actively harming you by doing so.
So, what's the next step?
I'll look up Anchor's past records. Be back in a moment. I found a memory that might prove pleasant to restore. First, let's change locations.
How come we're back at the pool?
In the past, you had a deep connection with water. Now, before we start, where is the deepest part of this pool?
Where the admirer's stationed. Docking a battleship of that size requires at least 20 meters of depth. That it is, so humans usually don't go swimming in that end. But it is no problem to go with me and Master Helm. This built-in radar I've got emits a beep anytime someone is drowning. That way I can rush over and save them. It sure is. Alright, we're here. Now what?
Jump in. To provide better stimulation for your brain. It might be better if you do so from a greater height.
So I've gotta dive?
Yes. If you're having any misgivings, now's your last chance to bow out. I personally don't recommend you go through with it.
I'll be fine. In theory, I can stay underwater indefinitely, so long as no damage to my brain is incurred. About 10 minutes. That won't be an issue. Not so long as I've got my trusty radar. This'll help me find my way no matter where I am. Oh, and one more thing. This is my most precious possession, and I'm entrusting it to you. You can't ever lose it, okay? Be right back.
She's not coming up. Let's wait a bit more. Her taking longer than usual isn't necessarily a bad thing. Normally, she would be back up after a few seconds. So there must be a reason why she's taking her time. That's what I'm assuming, yes. As for whether that memory is positive or negative one remains to be seen. Either way, I'm sure having these long-forgotten memories come flooding back is a major shock to her. It's up to NIKKE if she can overcome it. In case you're thinking of jumping in after her, don't. NIKKE was designed to operate underwater. You were not. For you, that pool will end up becoming your grave.
I can feel it. The sting of water against my skin. As I collided with the surface of the pool. The pain isn't significant enough that it affects my movement, however. I should head back up to get some air.
Are you sure you want to keep going? Your legs aren't so good and you can't even see. How can you possibly swim in this state?
It's okay, Mom. Blind people usually have enhanced senses. Like echolocation or radar. What is this memory? I'm remembering things I didn't even experience. Is this a hallucination, or... Whenever Whenever I'm in the water, I forget that I have a disability. I feel more alive underwater than above ground, bound to a wheelchair. Mom, what's wrong?
My dear, the doctor said...
I see now. I always enjoyed the water. My dream was to be a part of the Navy rescue team. There's no ocean in the Ark, but there's a great big swimming pool that felt as big as the sea. That's why I've been able to entertain such childish fantasies. Even if I can't see or walk, I was enamored with the world underwater where I could swim. I was jealous of the creatures that could swim through it more freely than I. That's why I was so fascinated by the water and the creatures in it, especially starfish.
I've already requested a rescue team. Mast and Helm will be here any minute. You jump in after her then! Like I told you, you'd be sending yourself to a watery grave!
This built-in radar I've got emits a beep anytime someone is drowning. That way I can rush over and save them.
Wait! What are you going to do? What?
Whenever someone is drowning, my radar goes off. It's so loud. But why? I am no longer human. I loved swimming. I wanted to be part of the Navy rescue team. I was so full of passion then. So human. I understand it now. When saving the others, it doesn't matter what your heart is made of. Even though I have a mechanical body, I'm... Captain! Grab my hand! I want to save you. Because that's who I am. That's my way of life.
Boss! Where in the world are Helm and Mast? Here we are.
Hang in there, you two! Captain, are you okay? Captain, I think I understand now. My heart may not beat, but I still adore starfish. My body may be mechanical, but I still want to save people. I have to keep on living.
Now that you've realized your purpose in life, I suppose you won't be needing these sea creatures anymore.
No, you're wrong about that, boss. My love for marine life is what makes me me. I still need them.
Anchor. I've already told you that granting that request is impossible. I'm one of the big three, and so long as the Management Bureau is part of the central government.
Ingrid, I don't mean to intrude, but maybe I can take it from here.
What do you mean?
There is something I need to tell you both. Ever since we got the warning from the Wildlife Agency, I've visited just about every government department there is, aside from entrusting you with persuading NIKKE. I also felt that I needed to do something. Of course, I was mostly met with indifference. But one of those places was different from the rest. The Merchant Union. They must have seen some way they could benefit from this whole situation, so they said they'd take care of lobbying the Control Bureau. They want to buy the right to NIKKE's character license, along with the Admirer, all starfish, and everything else. I can scarcely believe it myself. So, NIKKE, you don't have to run around worrying that they'll take your sea creatures away. Huh? Even though it seems you can get by without them now, I can see that you're still fond of them, yes. Yes! Yes, of course! My resurrection. From now on, whenever I'm feeling down, and I start to doubt whether I'm alive or not, I'll look at these sea creatures and remind myself of this moment. The meaning of life has nothing to do with your physical body, but rather the things you do and the people you surround yourself with. You're a part of that now as well, Captain. You jumped into the water to save me. For you, even if my heart doesn't beat, it will beat loud and clear for you in my mind.